Today on Spectrum, you'll find a supreme treat, a legend in the rainforest, and a scholar of Polynesia. The James McEwen Dancers perform a duet in Waimea Falls Park. Surrounded by a compelling fragrance, a young man searches for the spirit of the ginger blossom. Theologian John Charlot reflects on ancient Hawaiian religion as he surveys the Polynesian spirit. But first, you'll taste the many tantalizing flavors of shave ice when you join three errant spirits on their quest for the cone supreme. Tom, Andy, and Joette search through town and traverse the cane fields of Haleiwa to find the right bite of shave ice. Remember that first bite? How good it was? How cold it felt melting in your mouth? That first cool, sweet mouthful of shave ice? Shave ice is so much a part of growing up in Hawaii. One of the memories of small kid times. A reward for having been good. That cool treat so welcome on hot days. The hoped-for prize after school, or on the way home after a day at the beach. A celebration.
Hello, may I speak to your executive director, please? Yeah, Tom Pierce calling. Hello, Joette. How you doing? Great. Hey, is Andy with you? Super. What you guys doing? Working on a big deal of yours, huh? Hey, you know, I just closed a big deal also, and I want to celebrate today. What do you say? No champagne. Shave ice, girl, shave ice. For real. Okay, I'll pick you up in about 10 minutes, all right? See you later.
I think many of us remember eating our first shave ice much more than tasting other delights like ice cream. The ingredients were not expensive and were readily available. Ice, syrup, a bench to sit on.
Okay, you guys are really in for a super treat, because this is my favorite place. The guy makes his own ice, and his shave ice is so fine.
Tom, you come here all the time?
Oh, yeah. Every Saturday I come down here after playing tennis. And that's why I know it's the best. I mean, I've tried all other places, but this place, like I said, is so fine. It'll melt in your mouth. I guarantee it. Okay. Money back guarantee. Okay, you try the pineapple. There you go. I tell you. The best shave ice in town. The best.
You tried pineapple before?
No.
That's pretty good.
Look at that.
Isn't that good? Let's sit down here.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Well, Tom, congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling us.
You're welcome. How do you like this?
Not too bad.
How's it,
Anything-
Victor? Smooth?
Well, smooth, but, you know, real shave ice has crunch.
Crunch?
Yeah. Let me tell you guys, why don't
Okay.
you come with me, and I'll take you over to my favorite place, okay?
All
You
right.
get to go to her place, you got to go to my place, too.
Okay, we'll go to her place, then we'll go to your place.
Okay.
Shall we go?
Great.
All right.
The first cast iron shave ice machines were cranked by hand. These were later powered by electricity, some operating with a foot pedal, others with hand switches.
Hi, Betsy. Hi. I brought in my two friends, and they don't believe you carry the best shave ice on the
Sure, this place
island,
better
right?
than mine.
Oh, of course.
Betsy, tell them how old your machine
Well, I
is.
understand this machine is about, it's a 1940 or 1941 model. It's a pre-war. And I've used it now for about 17 years.
Same store too.
Yes, in the same location where it was an old wooden building.
Yeah.
But building has changed, but
Yeah.
the machine is the same
Same
machine.
machine?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And I've had this store now for 32 years, and I've making shave ice since that time.
And she makes her own flavors, you know.
Terrific, terrific.
So what are you featuring this week, Betsy? Any new flavors?
Well, we have bubble gum
Oh, gum.
and
I have bubble gum. I get
And
bubble gum. I
watermelon.
get bubble gum.
You see, well, hey,
What,
you know how
what?
the saying goes.
What?
If you don't try,
Try it, you don't know.
Right.
Okay, okay, okay.
So what do you guys want?
Bubble gum, man.
I'm getting bubble gum.
bubble gum.
Okay, I'll try watermelon.
Watermelon, all right.
Thank you.
Try
So the watermelon.
Not bad, huh?
Good. Not bad.
So what do you think?
I think it's good, but I think my place is best. Let's go to my place.
Okay.
Okay.
Please, some shave ice. What flavors you guys gonna get?
I'm getting pink. Pink, huh? Pink.
Hey,
Pink.
how
Toy
can you
Tom.
decide? This is a decorated delight. Look at this, dark orange,
Okay,
light
too many
orange.
flavors. My phone. No, I'm gonna okay figure which
Pink.
one.
Coconut. Everything else, coconut. Pink.
But
Huh?
coconut's not
Nah,
pink.
nah, nah.
This is P-I-N-K. Pink. Pink and brown.
Ooh, God see you.
And do you know what's gonna happen when those two mix
You're
up?
not supposed to
huh?
mix root beer with any other flavor. Come on, junk.
Yeah, you know, the best kind of shave ice is gonna be virgin shave ice. Nothing inside except shave ice and strawberry. You know, the red flavor. Okay, let's decide now what size and...
Yeah.
Oh,
on,
Tom, look how expensive, girl.
You get money or what?
Andy?
Huh? 70. Remember smoking time was only nickel. 15 cents.
Nickel?
Now
No.
75 cents.
Tom.
That's okay. I'm gonna splurge. I'll treat
You
you guys.
splurge?
I'll treat you guys.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
then-
treat you guys.
I'm gonna have the deluxe, the large. Ice cream and black beans.
Why don't you want to try this one? Look, the rainbow.
That might work out, you know, the
Get red.
strawberry.
I don't know what that one. Pink. And then lemon, yellow. Let's try that
Oh,
one.
that's blue. Lemon's blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
Lemon's blue.
Okay, Tom, I'm
What?
just gonna give you a break. Can
Okay.
I just have the large, just plain strawberry.
Largest plain strawberry.
That's my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where to go? Where to go? We go order.
Where do we order from?
It's right over here, I think. Let me do it.
Okay.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
I want
Which
green.
can
I like green and coconut.
And I'm gonna just have plain strawberry.
You have the pink, brown, and blue, please.
Yeah, how many small and how many large here?
One large.
One large.
I want a small, red.
I like large.
Two large and a small. Any with ice cream or beans?
One ice cream, one beans.
I just want my plain.
Ice cream, beans, please.
Puzzle cubes. You know, this guy was telling me that this machine over here is 25 years old. Notice the difference in the old hand crank jobbers versus the new ones over there where it's all electric and everything. Plus, I like the sound
I like
of the
the
old
sound, yeah.
old machines, you know, the tinkling sound and everything. Cast iron. Much slower than the other one. Look at the other guy go.
This is over the beans.
Yeah, I like green and coconut.
Lime and coconut.
That color. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but look what happened when it overflowed. Told you.
Thank you.
Where's mine?
And the ice cream and beans.
I'd like to have pink, brown, and blue, please.
Pink coconut.
Coconut.
Pineapple root.
Coconut pineapple root beer. Coconut.
Coconut.
Well, there is coconut, yeah.
The green is coconut.
Oh, she.
No, pink.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that one.
Now, doesn't that look good?
This stuff is good.
Yeah. Try this one, Joe.
Okay, you sure it's good, huh?
Oh no. Check.
No, try this one.
Not bad.
This is better.
Okay. Okay. Well, and you remember
What?
the time you didn't get red tongue?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Everybody make fun of you?
I remember, yeah.
Can you remember that first bite? How it tasted? Cold and sweet. Green, lime. Yellow, lemon. Brown, root beer. Nowadays, there are so many new flavors to choose from that it is often hard to reach a decision. So that what you often end up with is rainbow. Coming up on Spectrum is Polynesian scholar John Charlot. Now, Suzanne Ausias de Turenne and James Awai meet deep in the rainforest of Waimea Falls. Olomana provides the music with a song entitled Ku'ule Avapuhi, as James and Suzanne dance the legend of Ginger Lay. Hawaii Public Television's Nino J. Martin visits with the son of famed muralist Jean Charlot. Dr. John Charlot will discuss his new book entitled Chanting the Universe and point out the diverse and enduring roots of Hawaii's religious culture.
John, it's nice to have you here with us on Spectrum. Thank you for coming out here today.
Thank
you. You have been a resident of the Hawaiian Islands for quite some time, and but before that, you were at Brandon University, or not Brandon, but rather in Munich. You graduated as a PhD?
Yes, well, we came here in 1949, of all things, and I was 8 years old, and I've been kicking around ever since to the mainland and back here for school.
Your mom and your dad, and Martin and Peter?
Martin, brother Peter, and sister Ann.
And now you left the Hawaiian Islands, lost to us certainly, and you've gone up to Brandon University up in Manitoba, Canada. Yeah. Why did you leave here?
Well, I couldn't find a job here in Hawaii, and they offered me a job there. I've been working at the university. We developed a whole series of courses on Hawaiian religion, but they wouldn't support it with a position, and now even those courses have been cut, I understand.
The thing that's interesting, though, is we still haven't lost touch with you. You're still here in spirit, and also through a new book that you've just written called Chanting the Universe. And why did you select the title, Chanting the Universe?
My original title was Hawaiian Religious Culture, which for me says a lot about Hawaiian culture, that it's culture and it's religion, and that the two are absolutely permeating each other. But chant is so important in Hawaii, and I wrote much of the book from poetry, reading poetry, finding out what it said about Hawaiian culture. And the concern of poetry is really basically the universe. They talk about flowers, they talk about lovemaking, they talk about people, but behind all of those things you always have that context, the context as a whole universe. So chanting the universe put those two ends together for me.
What was your purpose, your reason for writing this book?
Well, I just started studying Hawaiian culture. It took me a long time to get around to it. I must say, we came in 48, and as you know, my father 49, and my father immediately got into Hawaiian culture and he wanted to get me into it. But I really had to recover my own roots, so I had to go back to Greece and Rome and the ancient Israelites. And
you actually lived in Europe.
Work my way up. Yes. And going back to France, for instance, was very important for me. I'm very French, and going back there, living in France, kind of got me in touch with myself. And it was only after I'd learned about my own culture that I was able to get into Hawaiian culture.
Would you consider it a scholarly work?
Well, it's hopefully written for a popular audience, but I think I have more scholarly background in the book than is usual in such a work. I think the main thing is that I work from Hawaiian sources. I've read by now a good deal of Hawaiian literature, and I felt that expressed for me what Hawaiian culture was all about. So I do my own translations in the book.
One thing in your book that you mention, and that is the Hawaiian saying, "Look to the source."
Well, it's a very famous Hawaiian saying, and Hawaiians feel that it says a lot about their way of thinking. And we have that also in Western culture. Our word principle comes from a Latin word which means the beginning of things. And the idea is that if you know how something began, you understand how it operates, you understand its character. So Hawaiians ask that question a lot when they're trying to understand something. And they can ask it about little things. What is the origin of this stone? What is the origin of this person's personality? Or they can ask it about the whole universe.
You're really talking about the essence of something, aren't you?
I'm trying to find out how Hawaiian thinking works. In other words, not this fact, not that fact, but what is the whole cultural process behind Hawaiian culture? What's going on in their heads and their feelings as they do this or that particular action.
Doesn't this also relate to the purpose of something, the origination of something for a given purpose? How do the Hawaiians look at that?
Well, they use the concept of a search. Of course, things can have a purpose. You make an adze to cut a canoe, you make a net to catch fish. But again, they see this all in a much deeper context than just a particular purpose. They see this as a great search where people are trying to understand this world that they're living in, trying to understand themselves. So everything they do turns into a kind of meditative effort, a meditative sinking into and appreciating the action that they're performing.
How about the relationship between the Hawaiians and their land, where they live, their soil? How do they relate to that?
Well, they have a very strong attachment to the land, of course. They call themselves children of the land. And they mean this very literally, because in the Kumulipo you have the mating of the sky and earth, and everything comes out of that mating. So they have a strong, what we could call an evolutionary view. We don't think of ourselves as so much on a family tree as Hawaiians did, but they saw themselves as literally related to animals, plants. Different lands create different personalities. So if you ask somebody who his family is, if you ask him what land he comes from, that gives you two fixes for understanding that person.
And of course, it's a very small society, where it would be a lot easier to do that in a small society than, say, a larger one. In the book, you mention the difference between two Polynesian cultures, the Samoans and the Hawaiians, all originating from one culture, but yet the evolution of these two cultures within the Polynesian culture are diverse.
Yes.
Why are they different? They've been both originated from one place, from the South Pacific.
Yes.
Why are they different now?
Polynesians are very creative people, and they're in continual movement creatively, and so it's natural when people are isolated over centuries and centuries that they'd be moving in different directions. I admire both cultures very much, but Samoan culture is very people-oriented, very society-oriented. The important thing is your relations in the community. Hawaiians were always a small population and a very big land, and so the context that they thought of themselves in was much more nature as a whole.
Do you feel that the Samoan culture has been able to maintain itself more intact over the centuries in contrast to the Hawaiian culture?
Well, in many ways they have. They've kept their political system fairly intact and many of their customs and things. Of course, they didn't have the big influence of non-Samoans that Hawaiians had here, non-Hawaiians coming in. Hawaiians were on the trade route, so they bore the brunt of the foreign pressure on Polynesia. But I think also Samoans were marvelous politicians and are, and in many ways were able to dichotomize the different sections of their lives in ways that Hawaiians didn't like. For Samoans, there's a strong contrast between the outside that they show and the inside feelings. Hawaiians had much more the sense that the outside should show what the inside is feeling, and so that made them somewhat more vulnerable. It cut off certain avenues of protection for them that Samoans could allow themselves. But I'm always amazed at how much of Hawaiian culture has survived. And when I started religion classes at the university, people said, well, why are you studying Hawaiian religion? There's none left. And then, of course, there was a good deal, and with the Kaho'olawe movement, a good deal of that suddenly came to the surface. I think the Kaho'olawe movement has brought a lot of things into the public that were hidden before, and of course that makes me very happy.
Do you think that there is a renaissance then going back to the original philosophical principles of the Hawaiian culture as it was centuries ago?
In a way, those principles have never died out. Hawaiian families have kept them alive. The difficulty was recognizing them, understanding them, and appreciating them, because in many ways they were different from haole ways. So the Hawaiian Renaissance has told people there is value in these ideas, and I hope that my book will, if you want, establish a kind of continuity between many of the things Hawaiians know now and practice just from their upbringing and their souls, and what went on before, so they know that they're living in a real cultural continuity with their past.
How do you feel as a Westerner, trained as a Westerner? I mean, can a Westerner really ever understand the Hawaiian
Not the way a Hawaiian would. In my book, I'm always careful to preserve that difference between me, my way of looking at things, and a Hawaiian and the way he'd look at them.
You had an interesting anecdote from the book. Some student of yours told you?
Oh, yes. Well, it's not in the book, but it was afterwards. A very good student of mine, and she said I couldn't understand the highest things because, of course, I wasn't Hawaiian, and I couldn't understand the basic things like flowers and plants because I hadn't been raised Hawaiian, but I was pretty good at the middle stuff. Well, I think that's a pretty good perception of my understanding of Hawaiian culture.
Our guest today has been Dr. John Charlot, author of Chanting the Universe. John, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Nina. Good to see you again.